Thank you all, and thank you for being here. And thank you, Mary Charlotte, who really sounds like she gave my talk. But I have some other things to say, but she got the picture right. But I really want to start by thanking the Lannan Foundation and Patrick and Andy. I mean, they deserve... I want to thank them not just for inviting me, but for obviously what they've done for Santa Fe, for the country and the world, and particularly what they've done for the radio station and TV station where my wife, Karen Ranucci, who is here, works, which is Democracy Now! So thank you. She always says it's the best TV station in the world. So here we are. And I also want to introduce, I don't know where he is in the audience, the executive director of the Center for Constitutional Rights is here, Vince Warren. Where are you, Vince? Vince really does all the work. I occasionally get to do a speech. But he's here. He came back in through California. And, you know, the center is, as Mary Charlotte said, is an incredible place. I've spent 40 years of really my legal and political life in and out of the Center for Constitutional Rights. And even here, when I was here for a couple of days, I got 2 emails and texts talking about 2 cases that they were just working on. One was saying yesterday that the center filed a case on behalf of the 19-year-old murdered Turkish-American citizen who was on the Gaza flotilla a year ago. And I said, there isn't another legal organization in the United States who would have taken that case or who would represent the right of Palestinians. And I'm just so proud of the center and being part of it because it has done that. The second message I got was about the Jumbotron in Times Square. So there's this big Jumbotron, and the center's been working on Haitian issues, as have I, for many, many years. One of the issues we're now doing is opposing deportations of Haitians back to Haiti because of the cholera epidemics, the lack of medical care, the people being put in jail. And we got a special deal on the Jumbotron to get people to petition President Obama to not deport people back to Haiti. The ad played a few times, and then all of a sudden, CBS Media pulls the ad. This is an ad saying, President Obama, stop deporting Haitians, pulls the ad because it's too controversial. I mean, if there was ever a demonstration of what's happened to the media in this country and advertising, that's it. I mean, this is not like saying, you know, save bin Laden. This is don't deport people to Haiti. And so that's one reason I just can't tell you how proud it makes me that as that I've grown through the center in age, et cetera, that it carries on an incredibly wonderful battle on the issues that can make a difference in the world. Tonight, though, I want to focus really on one particular aspect of the center's work, and that's 9/11 and beyond. The reaction of the Bush administration to 9/11, which was creating what I would call the unending monster of the war on terror, and then where we are almost 10 years later, as the Obama administration, despite hopes, promises otherwise, continues many of the draconian policies that characterized the Bush administration.
I mean, you're talking about encouraging everybody to tell the government to close Guantanamo. What would it take legally and structurally to close Guantanamo and to prevent future Guantanamos?
Okay, good question. Well, there's 90 people that have been cleared of everything. So the first thing that should happen is those people should be sent back to their home countries if they won't be tortured. And that's the first thing that ought to happen. But that hasn't happened yet.
Why would they be tortured?
Well, the Chinese, if they went to Western China, they would be tortured. We have, on the back of the flyer, there's an Algerian citizen who would be tortured if he was sent back to Algeria. So those 90 have to be sent back. As to the others, they have to be either charged or tried. Charged and tried or released. If you're not going to charge and try them, then they ought to be released. So there has to be no preventive detention at Guantanamo. You have to charge people with a crime and try them. And then, if you're convicted, then you go to jail. If you're not convicted, then you're released. But unfortunately, the Obama administration says even if we try you and you're acquitted, we have a right to hold you as an enemy combatant or belligerent or whatever term they want to use. So what it would take is really a couple of things could just happen within the administration. without changes in law. The 90 could be sent back, homes could be found for them. The others could be charged and tried, and then if they're convicted, they go to jail, and if they're not, then they get released. But that's not the way it is right now. Now, we do have a problem with the law in the United States, that we can't bring Guantanamo detainees into the United States because Congress has passed a law, which Obama really never did anything about, and Democrats went along with it. And so now we have a situation when we go to Europe to beg them to take some of our Guantanamo detainees, and we have a whole team at the center that does that visits capitals, that does all that. Will you take our person? They say, well, the United States won't take one person. You guys created Guantanamo. How come you want us to take them? And we don't even know the names of there's actually 89 people who are cleared, released. We don't know the names of them. We represent some of them, so some of those we can go to Europe with, but others we don't even know the names. So one demand would be to just get the names of the 89 cleared people. It's all on our flyer, but that would be very important. The second thing would be, the writ of habeas corpus, which I talk about, and it's this Latin term and all. As I said, it's the critical right that differentiates, to my view, a country from a democracy from a police state. Because in a police state, the executive picks you up and tosses you in a prison, and you're never heard from again. You can't go to court, and that's the end. So it's the underpinning in law of what it means to have a level of freedom. And here you have habeas. We won this right of habeas corpus, and we win the cases. And then the inmate or the person at Guantanamo, all they can do is like hang the sign over their bed. I won the right to be free, but the president won't let me be free. And it seems to me to be a tremendous interference with the judge's power to release people who the state is wrongfully holding. And so one thing the state could do, or Obama could do in this case, is say, I'm going to let the courts decide these cases as they should be decided. And what good is it to decide habeas corpus if at the end of the road you're still in jail? So we spent all these years winning this right, and essentially many of our clients remain in prison.